says starting, or it says live, so. Alright, welcome to another Spellsfired stream. I'm your host, Shill Phish. I'm here with a motley crew of people I pretty much just brought together on a whim. But we're here to talk about game jams, or whether they're game scams. And let me run down with everybody who's joining us today. We have Adil.
Hey, guys.
Got Andre.
Hello.
Roguestar.
Hey.
I got Ryu.
Yep.
And I got Steven.
How's it going?
It's going good. Also, my cameraman's joining, but
He doesn't count, right?
Yeah, he doesn't count. He ain't gonna say shit. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. So let's get this started right off here. Game jams. The basic idea is people come together and they try to make a video game within a short amount of time. Question is that good or bad?
Well, personally, I am for the side of game jams because I feel like it's a great networking opportunity. Plus, it's a great way to see what you can do under crunch time. And personally, I love that. It tests your skills. It tests what you can do within a short period of time. And I've seen some really cool concepts come out of it.
Okay, it can test your skills, but I feel like some skills you're not utilizing necessarily the best technology that you can because you only have so much time. Like a lot of these games are going to be 2D as opposed to 3D modeling and stuff like that. So do you still believe that, or? And I'm not saying that 2D isn't a skill.
No. I meant in the sense that what kind of mechanics can you come up with? Because I'm looking at it from the perspective of a game designer. So what can you make that could be relatively considered fun and playable within a short span of time? You know?
Okay. Are you a game designer?
Yeah, I'm studying to be a game designer.
Studying, or are you?
Well, I've already gotten one game that I put up on Kickstarter as well, but that failed recently.
Was it the bear one? Was it
No.
the bear?
Yeah.
No.
Where are you
gonna say.
associated with Gamer X?
Yeah, are you Gamer X? Are you
Yes.
Yes.
The NSA Inquisition will ask you now.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm sorry for the hippies. All right. Well, what about you, Roguestar? I know you're the. I think you may be the only voice of opposition here.
Yeah. First off, I am no longer an indie dev. I am a rogue dev. Because I don't know.
Woohoo.
Sounds catchy.
Second thing about game jams. My experience so far was with the Global Game Jam. I didn't like that, and I've seen tons of other game jam events just being published all across the world. I believe the original game jam was Ludum Dare.
Yeah.
That is actually an event I really respect because the hardcore rules of Ludum Dare involve you write your source code, you operate as one guy, you've got 48 hours, it's a pure test of programming skill, and you try to make a game. Most popular, I would... Yeah, go ahead, dude. What's up?
When was this? This event? When was it?
It happens twice a year now, I believe. I
When
can't...
was the original one? Just a ballpark.
Oh,
SNES
ballpark?
era, or...
Ludum Dare's been around for a while, dude.
Yeah, it's on what? Ludum Dare 20 something or more than that?
There's two a year, two major ones, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's been around a while.
And there's
Ludum
mini
Dare's-
Ludum Dare.
Ludum Dare
Continue.
predates the term game jam. My opinion is people co-opted the term game jam because of music jam and all this fucking hippie shit and try to apply it to Ludum Dare, rip off their fucking format. Ooh, we have a game jam. Let's go with our fucking noob tools like Unity.
Well,
Twine.
they all wanted to try Construct or Twine or having themes and all that.
Are you agreeing with Roguestar, Ryu?
Huh?
You agree with Roguestar? Do you think these game jams are just hipster bullshit?
Nah, I mean, there are
Well, let me
hipsters
explain
that are
that
full
one,
of
alright.
bullshit
Alright,
with these
Roxanne.
jams, but I think
Sorry.
there's some
Go ahead, Ryu.
legitimate,
Okay. Well, I was joking, and not necessarily hipster bullshit.
yeah.
What were you gonna say, Roguestar?
Well, I believe the game jam format itself of, if you're going to a game jam and you want to use the Ludum Dare tools. I mean, the Ludum Dare hardcore rules, and participate in Ludum Dare. Yeah, hell yeah, you're testing a lot of skill. What's been happening lately, though, I don't agree with what a lot of organized game jams have been doing, particularly with introducing a theme. I don't like that
Or
because
sponsors.
theme sponsors and let's see, charging money. That's the
Okay.
one thing. You go to a jam.
Let's not
Wait,
open that
they-
can of worms yet.
Yeah.
Let's get everyone else in here first. But
Hmm.
hold on
Okay.
to that point, Roguestar. Andre, I know you're also a developer.
Yeah.
All right, give me the truth about game jams. What is this?
Well, I
I-
can't talk about the truth really. I can just talk about my own experiences. And I went on one game jam once actually for about 3 days. And the issue was that it was actually Ludum Dare, but it was a version of Ludum Dare that that spanned over 3 days as opposed to two. And it was actually set running in parallel at the same time as the actual Ludum Dare. So what happened was that I called for a team to take part in. I mean, I just asked around and wanted to join a team. There was no
Yeah.
team available at that time, probably because I came in quite late in the game, as in about 2 days before the actual jam started. And I did find two people who were interested. Actually, I think three who were interested, but one of them dropped out. But the idea is that one of these two people turned out not to actually possess the skills that he promised to, that he claimed to
Ooh,
possess, and he didn't actually manage to finish any content.
it's
So
like a pet peeve.
Wait, so
That was
someone
my cringe
flaked
face
on you?
no, he didn't flake. No, the thing is, he was a decent fellow, but I think that he just didn't. How should I say this? He lost motivation, and I think it was just a trait of his rather than some malice on his part or some sort of flakiness on his part. I think he was just the kind of person to lose motivation very easily, and unfortunately, I just believed that he would, push through with the project, and he didn't, and so I ended up having to just cancel it because I could see that even though I had built my side of things, he didn't build his, so it just didn't turn out to work. I mean, that
Yeah.
was
is
my
risky
experience,
for a
and
particular
when
team. But are you proud of it? Are you glad you had it regardless, or?
I'm not glad that I actually took part in the jam. I mean, the issue is that people had mentioned here that it's good for networking. I think it's a way to network with random people, and you don't know whether these people actually have proper skills. You don't know whether they have the right kind of motivation. You don't know whether they would fit in a team with you. I think it's good to actually take part in game jams, but I think it's good to assemble a team beforehand rather than actually, just jumping in directly. Now, what can happen is you can set up a team over the course of a week and talk to each other and find out what each other's characters are, find out whether you can make a game together. And if so, that's great. You can actually vet people over the course of a week, but if you just jump in at the last moment as I did, then things can go sour, I suppose.
Yeah.
One
Yeah,
last thing
that's-
about Ludum Dare, if I could just point out briefly, is that
Yeah.
there was actually a week before the Ludum Dare event where I took part, there was a trial run, so to speak, where basically people could test their game over the course of 2 days. But actually, even though it wasn't, they could actually make a game, any game, over the course of 2 days just to warm up, so to speak. And that sort of thing was very nice for Ludum Dare to have. I think more game jams should have this sort of thing.
Okay. I know, Steven, you've been a little quiet because I haven't gotten to you. What is your
Yeah.
take on game jams, and have you ever been in one, or are you a developer?
Yeah, so I was a producer for a mobile game company. Fucking hated it. Quit.
That sounds about right.
Yep, he's a dev. He's a game dev.
And then now I'm working as an automation engineer for a visual effects studio. But I went to the same school as Slade, and
did
practically
you?
the same degree. Yeah, I did.
Wait. Which year are you?
I graduated 13.
13? Okay. I graduated like 10, 3 years before you. So.
Yeah. Anyway, so I've done like 3 global game jams. The Dark Side of the Jam, which was like a NASA-sponsored one.
I didn't know NASA was sponsoring this.
It was actually not bad.
That's actually pretty kick-ass.
Yeah, and then I was near just about to go on the GitHub one, but like their jam thing actually really sucked, and I was already kind of like pissy with them over the whole repo shit with what's his face. So I just decided to bail. But yeah, so my whole deal with jams is I love kind of being able to work within some amount of constraints. Most of what I've done was Global Game Jam, so you know they always have a theme. So kind of working within that constraint, I think it's a good exercise for design, and then just being able to like quickly prototype. And this is all kind of talking within like industry standards, because if you can't show something in less than a week, a company's not going to give a shit about it. Like, you have to be able to show something really fast, otherwise you're wasting their time.
And you think it helps give you experience with dealing with pressure, and that's important.
Yeah, but that's within regards to just being in a company. I think if you're alone, you don't have to worry about any of that shit, but if you're working under someone, then you always have to worry about that.
Definitely. So, would you do another game jam in the future, or no?
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. When I go, I work with friends. I try not to pick up random people because I know like my friend developers better. I know what their skill set is. I know how to like craft a better team that way, and it's reliable.
Yeah, definitely being able to know your team. I mean, that's beneficial in any company.
And then the whole like networking thing. Like fuck networking. I think your game should be known for merit, not who your friends are.
I think we all wish that, but unfortunately, that may not be the case.
Yeah.
Ryu, I know that when Andre was talking about someone dropping out, you seem to have a little bit of empathy towards that. Is there a reason for that, or am I just reading this incorrectly?
Wait, are you talking to me? Sorry.
Yeah. I know you're
There's
drawing.
so much lag on my end. Like,
It's okay.
I'm hearing, like, I don't know, 5 seconds behind right now.
Okay, well, did you have a bad experience with a team member
So,
flaking or not being up to par?
I've had the opposite, because when I did, so there was, there was basically like the pulse pounding, heart stopping game jam way back in like
2012?
February, I think. Yeah, like I think it was February of this year, and that was done by Madame Luna on Tumblr, who's also, I think, Deceased Crab's fiance or something. I don't know, but at any rate, me and my team happened to know each other really well. Like, the main person that I worked with happened to like have been my friend for 2 years at that point, so we had a pretty good dynamic going on. And then we got a couple of artists on board, and another writer and a coder, and that actually worked out really well for us because we were all part of the visual novel community.
That sounds kind of big for a game jam team. Is that correct, or no? Or was this a separate team? All those people you listed?
Yeah, I've got so much lag. I'm sorry.
Was that
I
a
might
big
have
team?
to join and rejoin because I can basically hear what I was saying before.
Yeah, you might be hearing it on the YouTube channel itself.
Oh, really?
The audio open on the Hangout and just mute the YouTube stream.
Oh, yeah, that'll help. Okay.
That could be what you're experiencing.
Phew, I'm not going fucking insane. Right.
It's late. We're all tired, but
yeah.
But anyway, you can fix that. I'll get to someone else.
I fixed it. Okay, we're good.
Okay, so you were part of this game jam, and you had a lot of people on your team. It sounded like, is that?
Yeah. So we had.
I thought it was smaller teams.
So the Pulse Pounding Heart Stopping Game Jam was a 3-day jam. We ended up being late by 2 days because of feature creep. But, let's see. We had me as a writer, 2 other writers, 3 artists, and a coder. So we had 7
Coders?
people. Like a
Like
dedicated.
8 coders?
No,
coder.
no,
Hey,
not
yeah.
8 coders. This isn't like a paradox game.
Okay, like whoa.
Yeah.
You want 8 programs.
And this was, keep in mind that this was 7 people for a visual novel game. So,
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
big.
so it's pretty
And this-
heavy.
It was a visual novel game jam.
No, well, kind of. Basically, the whole point of the jam was to make some kind of game with the theme of romance. So, of course, a lot of people made Twine games or...
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But we didn't make a Twine game. We made a Renpy game. So we had...
Ooh, hardcore.
Yeah, so hardcore for
hardcore.
visual novels.
I worked on that jam.
Python.
We made a game where we took the beat as a rhythm and kind of literally for the heartbeat, but we had a rhythm game for making a ritual sacrifice. And
Oh
basically-
Jesus.
Yeah.
What?
So, yeah, exactly. It was you had to appease the gods by doing the correct Aztec priest dance, and then you could successfully perform ritual sacrifice.
This wasn't for NASA, was
Pull
it?
out the beating heart. No, this was the
Alright,
exact same
okay.
jam.
So
that
is
she's
this
talking
like a DDR style game, where you can use a
Kind of,
keypad, or?
We were using a Xbox controller, and it was just like thumbsticks and triggers.
Do you have a download link to this game? Because
Yeah. Let me grab it.
Yeah, you get working on
That
that.
actually kind of sounds fun.
yeah.
What did you say you took part in one Roguestar or you didn't?
Well, yeah, I took part in one. It's called Global Game Jam, and let's see, that was a few years back. Back when I was still in university.
Was it your first time?
No, actually. I've been participating in Ludum Dare. No, I will not tell people my handle, what I was using. No, I didn't, publish any of the stuff. One of my goals is to actually finish a Ludum Dare. It's one of my personal goals, at least, being a programmer, and get something working and stick with the hardcore rules of Ludum Dare. But let's see, what's the topic again?
What game did you make in this game jam that you participated in?
Mostly.
Was it Satanism?
No, it wasn't. Oh, who are you asking? Sorry.
I'm talking to you.
Okay, you're asking me.
Yeah.
I usually start with tech demos, and then I try to make it a game. So every time I participate in Ludum Dare, I can't get past the fucking tech demo part, and finally you're like, oh, it's a game. Been doing that for a few years, and I end up quitting. Like, damn it.
Yeah, you can't quit. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
That's the thing. Yeah, you can't quit a game jam, and it pisses me off when my tech demo's not making it. Fuck it. I got like 6 hours left or something. Yeah, it's not gonna make it. So.
I mean, even if you're late, just finish the damn thing.
Yeah,
So-
but I get stuck on the tech demo part, dude. So I mean, when I'm talking about game jams and I talk about Ludum Dare is a completely different experience for me. When I see all these game jams that are popping up, they're usually with a lot of people who use pre-baked tools like Unity, UDK.
That's pre-made assets.
Who would do that?
Huh?
I said, who would do such a thing?
Oh, I don't know, but they use pre-baked engines. For me, it's work with empty code base and go.
Yeah.
And one of the hardcore rules of Ludum Dare is when you make a game for Ludum Dare, you publish your source because that's important. You publish your source. Somebody else might jumpstart on your source and make you a better game than you, and that helps the community. But for me, I never end up with an actual game. I quit. I suck at the game jam process.
Are you the guy that likes on the rest
Actually,
of the
not the
team?
game jam process, at the Ludum Dare process. You know, and
Have
one of
you
my goals is
done?
to actually, finish a tech demo and get it up to where, hey, this is a playable prototype, and this is something, breathtaking. Who's really good with that? Notch is. I believe Notch is really good with the Ludum.
Oh yeah.
Notch
Yeah.
is the king of that.
Yeah,
King
I'm
of
glad
what?
he's getting back to his roots, man, because this rock star game developer thing is sort of getting to his brain, and it's kind of sad that he's like, yeah, I just want to quit with the big thing because it's my sanity, and I was like, wow, dude, that sucks. So yeah, I'm glad he's getting back to Ludum Dare, where he's practically king of those kinds of experiences. But you know, for me, it's what's Game Jam now compared to what Ludum Dare is. That's completely different for me, dude. So
Hmm.
Okay. Adrian, what kind of game did you make on your game jam? Or did you already say? Or not Adrian, Andre. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of
Andre.
my head coder.
Yeah, okay. So you asked me what sort of games I'd made.
Yeah,
So
during the game jam.
what I intended to make rather. Well, here's the thing. The game jam was actually themed. Well, its theme was called, I believe, Underground or something, or beneath the surface. That was the theme exactly. And I brainstormed with the other people for various kinds of games that could be made. One idea was about a world that existed behind the actual world, and you were building a tower, but in fact, as you were building it, you were also building the tower on the parallel side, so to speak. And another idea, the one we stuck with ultimately, was about a gardener who was worshipping the god Potator. And basically, there were these beetles that were kept coming out of the ground, and he had to save his potatoes. And there was the story about religious persecution because I believe the Pumpkin King, incidentally, one of the pictures of available, one of the open source, so to speak, pictures available was of a big pumpkin with a crown on its head, and that was supposed to be the boss. We didn't actually complete it, but the whole point was that you would grow crops, but at the same time, as in a farm game, but at the same time you would have beetles chase after them, both on the ground and on the surface to try to eat them. That was the whole point of it.
That sounds like a fucking acid trip in a good way. So Satanism is a big game theme amongst game jams. I've never been in one, and I'm not a developer, so.
Ah.
Adil, did you share what game you made, or were you part of Game Jam? I forget. I think you may be away. All right. Well, let's tackle the elephant in the room here. Roguestar, what's up?
huh?
You
What happened?
want to add something, Andre?
Yeah, I wanted to add something actually because
Go ahead.
Rockstar mentioned that he was interested in making tech demos for Ludum Dare, so to speak, as opposed to actual games because there was never enough time for an actual game. I think it's a shame that people aren't doing something a bit different in that people could pick a theme for a jam, such as, for example, procedural generation of terrain or what have you, and people could actually make algorithms that could then be used by the community as opposed to just trying to make a game. Or likewise, there could be a game jam, so to speak, for making 3D models, or for making. I mean, there was actually one called Liberated Pixel Cup that was, in a sense, a jam for making 2D graphics. It's a shame that more things like this, as in jams for making resources, aren't being created because I think they would actually be very valuable. Ludum Dare generates a lot of games that almost no one plays. And there's a reason for that because there's a huge deluge of them coming out, and most of them are rather poor quality because they're made in 2 days. But in 2 days, you can actually make some really good content that could then be used by other people. It's a shame that you don't see jams for, I guess, procedural generation algorithms or for 3D models or for 2D graphics or anything like that.
So without that, I mean, they're not called game jams, but there are a lot of things like, let's say, sprite art contests around, like on forums. Like there are dedicated spriting and pixel art forums that hold contests regularly.
Are they like game jams in format in the sense that you actually only have 2 days to complete them?
No. Like you get a month for some of these contests.
A month to make a 2D sprite?
2D sprites are fucking Like, some of them are...
Teach me. I'm ignorant. Feel free to rip into me.
Yeah, okay, so...
Let's hear it. 2D sprites is bullshit. Come on, get mad.
Alright. Well, no,
Yeah,
I can't.
visual
get
novels
mad.
suck.
Single image.
I don't have
I
it
said
in
it.
me to get mad.
Yeah, that's right.
Come on.
Backing out. No, seriously
no.
though, tell me about this.
Nah, so I've been involved with sprite art communities to a greater or lesser extent since I was about 14, back when GeoCities was still a thing, Angel Fire was still a thing, etc., etc. And before any jokes about me still looking 14. Anyways, so
We are now investigating your former GeoCities and LiveJournals and Angel Fire accounts
yeah,
for
okay.
the purposes of public disclosure.
Yeah, go ahead, dox me, motherfuckers. Anyway.
No, tell me about these 2D sprite.
Okay, so way back in the day, sprite art was held to a much higher, more anal retentive standard than it is nowadays.
It's not this pixel NES bullshit. Is that what you're telling me? Or it was.
So basically, back 10 years ago, 8-bit was not cool. It was all about the 32-bit and 16-bit shit. You had to be absolutely sure that your palette was right for SNES or GBA, and like, people would get on your ass about pillow shading. They would be like, your spread is pillow shaded, do it over. Full custom or bust, you fucker.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So don't pillow shade.
Whoa.
That sounds like something else, but... So, did you ever take part in...
Dev here. Whoa.
So,
Did you ever take part in one of these 2D sprite, or did you have more to say about it?
So yeah, like, I've taken part in spriting contests before. Never really won, but moderators of sprite art forums tend to have standards. They'll dock you for not having a proper transparency, or saying, oh, you have 17 colors on this sprite. You can't have 17 colors. It has to be 15 colors with transparency. Yeah,
That's interesting.
Yeah,
What's up,
I
Andre?
was going to mention that apparently on the chat, Udaman is mentioning that there is in fact a tech demo scene that features a lot of apparently jams for procedural content generation. Just what I mentioned. So apparently these things do exist. It's just that they're not called jams per se.
They're probably just called contests.
They're called contracts. No, I'm kidding.
Cantrips.
Well, I mean, you're essentially talking about game or technology that you can use for games. So.
Yeah, I would maybe something like that for video game music, but I guess that would just be.
That would also be a contest. Probably check OC Remix or something.
Yeah, but isn't a game jam a contest in the end?
It is just a contest, just with a fancy name. Except nobody's giving out. I guess Ludum Dare gives out prizes, or at least people rate the games, but...
Some of the Global Game Jam sites will do prizes.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that, Steven. The Google Jam sites? Google
No,
does this shit?
Global
I
Game Jam.
was going to say,
So
Google's
not
in on Game
Google
Jams.
Game Jams.
No.
All right. They haven't tapped into it yet.
Yeah,
No,
not yet.
Sometimes they'll acquire funding from whoever's hosting. This is doesn't happen a whole lot, but they will, and they will offer prizes, or the last Global Game Jam I was at Facebook. They were hosting, and they didn't offer. I don't think they offered prizes, but they definitely bought everyone food and gave them, an entire Office Max worth of office supplies for prototyping and shit.
Well, that's nice of them. My game jam was online, so we didn't get any of that shit.
Yeah, I don't generally do it unless I can be there physically, just because it's a good way to get me away from everything that could distract me.
Fair enough.
What about the connections? I mean, Rockstar was saying, I believe that this is mostly to make connections.
I didn't say that.
No, I said that.
You said it. All right. Well, sorry, Rockstar. Adil said this. Did you make connections through Any
Well,
game jams to do?
well, I did something different. Like I always went into a team where it was me and a friend, and then we always had like either two extra members or at least one extra member that was completely random. So I had somebody I could trust at the end of the day, but we also had two other people who we didn't know much about, and we tried to work with them and see what we could come up with.
So that if all else fails, basically, you can complete it all on your own. Or you two.
Yeah, like us two could pretty much try to salvage it, which almost happened once.
Almost.
Yeah, like oh man, pretty much we thought that because this contest was online, we thought these two guys were AFK for almost a day and a half. Like we talked to them at the beginning of the day, like we were like, hey, we're gonna do this, and that. So while me and my friend were working at his apartment, we were trying to get a hold of them. We didn't know where the hell they were. Like we did our end of it pretty much. Like our end of it was done with like around 8 hours left. But the other two were just like they didn't contact us until 3 hours left into the competition.
Okay, so the sensible thing would have been, I suppose, to have done for you guys to have selected your roles as the crucial ones and to have just left the extra content to them.
Yeah, pretty much. Like that's what I'm like. If I enter another game jam in the future, that's what my game plan's going to be. But like I've talked to those, like I still consistently talk to those guys. Pretty cool people. Like it's just a fun. Like I just like that aspect of game jams. Just like potentially meeting new people to interact with and maybe share tips and tricks with.
Yeah, that's always nice.
What do you do on the team, Adil? Where do you contribute?
Like I mostly focus on mechanics and art. My friend's a programmer, so like
2D or 3D or
2D and 3D.
you don't pillow bite, do you, or whatever the fuck,
What
What?
the fuck is pillow biting?
or whatever the hell it's called, pillow something.
I'm not
Kidding.
sure.
Whatever
Is that
term-
some sort of euphemism for sex?
No, what was that term you were saying?
I do not power bottom. I do
shading.
not
That term you saying earlier about
pillow shading.
Pillow shading. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't do that, do you?
I don't think I do.
Pillow shading is
Let's
not
see
a
what Urban
thing
Dictionary
for
says about this.
3D.
What's up, Andre?
I'm just seeing what Urban Dictionary says about power bottoming. I have to find out now.
You do not need to look it up.
I'm not going to read it to you guys because everyone has to know now. So power
Okay.
bottom.
You have
Oh
to let
look,
them
there's
hear.
actually an entry for it. So it's a Gale male term, dominant bottom. While a bottom is usually submissive to his partner, a power bottom enjoys maintaining control over the top and/or the penetration. Okay, I'm gonna stop here.
Okay. So you
This
weren't
is
the
such
power
an
bottom.
educational stream.
Yeah. Well, nobody's
Yes,
gonna watch
for
it.
all 11 viewers out there. Oh, no, it's only 10 viewers now.
I'm one of them too, which is sad, and I know Andre is too.
Yeah.
But no, that's interesting. So let's talk about the other subject because I think I'm going to keep this around an hour, and that is that Roguestar was touching earlier, and I said we didn't want to necessarily open that can of worms yet, but let's go ahead and just jump right into it. And that is a lot of these game jams co-opted or being tainted by sponsorship, perhaps, or just flat out real fucking controversial or losing the spirit of what a game jam is. Is this just all nonsense? Are people talking madness here, or is there a legitimate point to this?
I want to jump in on this one.
Go ahead.
If your game jam is invite only, fuck you. That is bullshit. You know, game jams are supposed to be inclusive. That's what everybody can agree on. Anybody can join your game jam, whether it's color, race, creed, sexual orientation. If you're a power bottom, you can join the game jam. But when you start saying, "Oh, this is only a woman's only jam," fuck you. That's sexist. If this is a man's only jam, fuck you. That's sexist.
Yeah.
It's that's the first thing. The second thing is I believe game jams should not have financing. Just straight up, it's supposed to be a creative event. It's not supposed to be an event where you pay for and try to win a competition or whatever. and get ratings on TV. I'm like, no, dude. Game jams and things like Ludum Dare, you're supposed to create a game. You're there to connect and make new friends and test your skills. If anything, they start making game jams into this fucking like Hell's Kitchen style reality show. Well, fuck,
Yeah.
man.
It would be a good
No.
reality.
Yeah, I wouldn't be cool with that personally.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
kind of boring, to be honest.
yeah.
He'd just be
No
watching
way.
someone like reach
Oh my
into
God.
a bag of chips.
Oh my!
Faster.
No, people would watch the shit out of that. The Big Bang Theory. People
Yeah.
watch that shit.
Fuck Big Bang Theory.
I agree. Big Bang Theory is pretty gay.
But anyway, the third thing I see in game jams, it's being co-opted. It's when they start making political messages through themes. So this is like, the equal rights jam. Yeah, fuck that shit, dude. They're gonna start trying to politicize
Are
it.
there game jams that do have these restrictions, such as being a certain gender or race or sexuality?
There probably are.
Out
Probably,
there,
or are they out there?
they're out there.
Maybe
Yeah.
not as like a strict rule for participating, but I'm sure there's ones that just reach out to a certain group like very specifically and
Yeah, at the
would probably make
exclusion of.
anyone else feel a little uncomfortable if they were there.
I remember there was one back in the day, like, not back in the day, like a year and a half ago called Boob Jam, and it was like making games about boobs, and it was like mostly female developers working on it. Or maybe I'm crazy. Like, I remember there being such a thing.
There is a jam.
I mean,
called-
that's an odd topic for a jam, but nothing inherently wrong with boobs and jams, right?
Yeah, but it was like, I believe it was restricted to women only. I'm not sure about that. I have to check that up.
Okay. Well, what does everyone else think? Anyone can chime in here about.
I was going to mention that there is a game jam called there was a game jam called Dames Making Games that was basically for women only, but I don't really see that much of a problem with jams events being exclusive to certain people. I mean, if they want to restrict it to some sort of gender or sexual orientation or whatever they want to call it, I don't see the point of it. But if they want to do that, they do that. It's
So if I came out and I was like, look, I'm making Game Jam, GAYM, jam, and you must be gay, or whatever the hell, to participate, you're okay with that?
yeah. I mean, look, it's your game jam. You can exclude whoever you like. If you want to make a game jam for people who are not called Andre, by all means, make a game jam for people who are not called Andre. And I'm not gonna be part of it. So what?
Okay.
Yeah,
No, I
make
can
a
stand behind
game jam for people who are anal retentive about 32-bit sprites.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not illegal and you're footing the bill, I can see that being justified. Does anyone else want to weigh in on that? I don't think there's necessarily a right or wrong answer.
By the way, I linked the Boob Jam thing onto the side in the group chat.
Mm.
It's an actual thing.
Oh boy, I will work into getting that into the comments. The boob jam. Is it still going on today?
I believe it is. I believe. It's
Okay. What about you, Steven? If I came up and I was like, look, white man only jam. I don't want any of these other folk.
Now that
I
would
don't
be...
want anyone else tainting my jam. Would you be okay with that?
No, I'd say fuck off. Like,
Well, I wouldn't give a shit, but many, many, many people would.
Yeah, people would have a riot.
People
But
would
do you think
flip the fuck out.
You think people should have
well,
that right to
you're
do
like asking for it at that point. Like, why are you doing it? Like, fucking just swallow your misplaced pride and have a normal jam.
Okay. Ryu, if I said that I only want a power bottom jam, would you?
Well,
I'm kidding.
sure.
I'm kidding. What do you think about?
Why the hell not?
No, but you think it kind of the same idea of it would be political suicide, but technically allowed so long as it's legal.
I think that anything goes for, like, I mean, if somebody was like, okay, so this is a jam for making a 30-minute game about oral, then sure, why not?
Well, yeah, 18 plus. I mean, there's already visual novels, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Why
Though
not?
actually most of them in the West aren't actually porn, partially because most people can't draw porn. Like literally, they're
yeah,
not good at drawing porn, but also because we want to avoid the stigma, I guess, of Japan.
yeah. You get good at drawing porn, pretty much. Okay, well, let me throw a curveball, you guys. Okay, let's say, all right, I'm the guy running the game jam. I'm paying for the bill. It's free. Anyone can join. It doesn't matter what your race, sexuality, or whatever the hell. It doesn't matter what you are or who you are. But every game you make has to be about crime, like murder or rape. Is that okay?
Sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
I see that
it'd
as
be
more
a
of, like,
challenge.
the theme, which I guess gets closer to acceptable. I mean, if they were trying to like really push like one of those things, where like it was found out that they had like a brother that went to jail for some crime, and they want you to like jam about like why that crime isn't wrong, then yeah, that's super political, but
Yeah, it's not
that's
like
super specific.
AAA games don't already try to force edgy shit like that into their stuff. So
Yeah, so we might as well jam about it.
yeah.
Okay.
To get more super offensive, you could do the too soon jam, where
Jeez.
Oh
let's
god.
say like Robin Williams died, and then now we're gonna make games
Yeah.
about Robin Williams and try to promote, this Twine game right when
People would
Robin Williams committed
flip their
suicide.
shit.
Yeah. This is the Mrs. Doubtfire jam.
Oh yeah.
And, make whatever game you want about it.
God
Yeah.
bless the man. I
When
love
is
Robin
this?
Williams. I'm sorry I made him a topic, but
Yeah.
that was like, if you're gonna do game jams, I guess have some taste. Yeah, that's one
Yeah.
of the core issues with it. I mean, there's some people out there who will use any event and any hot topic to try to promote some sort of game or event.
There's
and-
always going to be opportunists, though.
Yeah, and it's introducing like tasteless sort of opportunism into the industry, and we've seen that the past 6 weeks so far. Tasteless opportunism, left and right, and career sabotage. But anyway, not related to that topic. Let's hopefully people pay attention to the kind of jams they go to.
It's probably someone who's made like a shit jam.
Yeah, I would, if you guys want my opinion, I don't do game jams, nor am I a developer. But I have the same mindset of probably not the best idea, but as long as it's legal, I guess it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it is okay if it's legal, but I would never officially endorse it. So what about sponsorship in these game jams? Or what about even just paying to even participate in these? I mean, at the end of the day, this shit costs money. You gotta pay, overhang or pay for hosting the event somewhere. You gotta pay for space, perhaps
Yeah.
technology. I don't know. Do you guys bring your own fucking gear or what?
That I think is kind of bullshit.
All right,
Whatever,
come on.
like,
What is bullshit about it?
Sponsor jams?
I want to hear
Well-
what you says.
Well, I think that it's bullshit that somebody has to pay, I don't know, like how much do you pay to get into a game jam?
I haven't been to any game
I've
jams. So.
never paid to get into a game jam. If I did, I would have some pretty high expectations of how
Yeah,
they would
are they
support
going to
me
give
throughout.
you like fucking Alienwares to program on? Nice couches, good food,
Oh, yeah.
like gourmet food.
Well, okay. Well, has anyone here had to pay to enter a game jam?
Nope.
But there are some that do charge you to enter, right?
Yeah, I believe the
I
global
believe there are.
Jam does.
Would you say, Roguestar? You believe which one?
I believe the global game jam still charges money. I think
Okay.
so.
You
And
know
is
how
That,
I
much?
think it's
that might
bullshit.
be certain sites. I've done it for 3 years and I've never been charged to go.
Because basically, if it's only a token cost to cover the cost of the venue or whatever, then okay, that's probably fine. But if it's like, I don't know, $100 to enter this game jam, then yeah, there's a problem with that unless they're serving you caviar on little plates.
Okay. I mean, All right. Adil, do you want to weigh in on this?
Oh,
If I
sorry.
said, look, if I was like $25 to get in this game jam in San Francisco, would you be like, go fuck yourself, Shill Phish, or would you pay up?
No, my response would be go fuck yourself, because why would I need to pay for a game jam? It's just supposed to be a challenge.
Well, how the hell am I supposed? What? You think I'm gonna do it for free? Fuck you. I got other game jammers that'll pay.
Well, that's fine. I'll just go join a free game jam.
Oh,
Exactly.
Okay. All right, but you don't think that there's a valid excuse though that
Like-
you take something significant to.
Like, personally, I don't think the right way to go about it is to charge. Like, I don't see the point. Unless you're, like, literally giving me everything I possibly could want, like, a badass computer, like, pretty much, like, free food, free accommodation, all that stuff. If you can give that to me in a package, then cool, I'm fine with that. But if not, you know,
Pay
Go
for
fuck
the
yourself.
hotel.
There can in fact be a reason for charging, I suppose, for game jams, though I've never seen it anywhere. Then again, I haven't seen many game jams. No, the idea is that I know, for example, there's one game jam that took place recently in the UK, which was sponsored by a company, by a big company, I believe it was Sony, and one of their prizes was actually mentorship being provided by one of Sony's, employees. I'm not exactly sure what his position was. Leading developers in any case, but the idea is that sometimes game jams can be organized by a particular group, and the purpose of them may be to actually find good games and to publicize them afterwards. That could be a reason to charge, but if the group itself was very prestigious, they would want to do that. For example, likewise in the UK, no university actually charges you to apply for joining it, except for Cambridge and Oxford, because they receive a lot of applications because they're very prestigious. So likewise, if there is indeed a high demand for people to join a game jam, it would be reasonable. People could charge for it. I wouldn't say it's reasonable actually, but it would be expected in certain situations for the organizers to actually charge money.
Yeah, that's paying for guaranteed networking for the winner, though.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, let me spin this around differently then. All right. You convinced me. I can't charge you if I want you guys to do my game jam. So I'm gonna take a different approach. It's free. I'll give you some food, some drinks, maybe alcoholic. Well, of course alcoholic.
Better be top of the line Cheetos, my friend.
Not maybe not top dollar. A little product I like to call Pepsi, and you may or may not have to officially endorse it at some point in time, but this is the big fucking game jam going on. There's lots of connections here. I'm not charging you to fucking enter, so don't give me that crap. So would you still take part in it if it were very much co-opted or kind of owned by a sponsorship?
I'll chime in. When I was doing the last global game jam that I did at Facebook, they fed us. They gave us basically full access to one of their little kitchens, and if you've ever seen a Facebook kitchen, there's a decent amount of food there. They actually had a mini bar going, and they didn't really have too many expectations of us. They offered to teach people how to use the Facebook API if they wanted to incorporate it in their game. They had breakout sessions that you could go attend to just do anything or learn anything from any of their on-staff experts, which it was kind of nice. But there was no cost. They fronted it, they footed everything, and I don't necessarily think that was a bad idea. And it wasn't political. I think that was a safe version of kind of footing the bill.
Sounds nice, actually.
Yeah.
It was pretty nice.
All right, we sold you. No. Adil, what do you think? Would you? Obviously there was that. What was that game jam that kind of crashed and burned? Had the Pepsi Mountain Dew shit or whatever in it.
I know what you're talking about. I feel like it was just called the Game Jam. I think that was just like Game Jam. Like, that's all it was.
Maybe that's why it failed, because it had such a generic name that there's no way anybody could possibly search it on Google.
But they were trying to
Game
show it on
underscore
TV.
jam.
Yeah. I believe they're trying to make a show out of that.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were. Actually, funny thing about that Game Jam, like, initially it wasn't, according to reports from that Game Jam, we don't know how true this is, especially considering literally who was involved, but, like according to them, it was pretty much supposed to be, like, this big publicized reality show thing, but it was going to be all about the aspects of, like, game jams. They were going to talk about how, like, what could they make, and it slowly turned into some sort of competition as more and more advertisers started, funding it.
Yeah, gotta be careful with that.
Yeah, I mean, money can ruin anything.
Pretty much.
Yeah, money sure ruined Ender's Game. God damn it.
Ender's Game. Oh, jeez. Do we want to... The movie? Was it that bad? I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was fucking bad.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much you guys have read of, like, Horse and Scott Card's works in general, but... Yeah, Bean barely appeared. Petra was shoehorned into a love interest. Yeah, it was like a fucking Disney version of Ender's Game.
All right.
Okay. That's garbage.
All right, well, enough about that depressing topic. Well, what about Rebel Game Jam? Is this the Game Jam we're all looking forward to, or?
Oh God!
Rebel Game Jam?
There's volumes could be spoken on that. I mean,
volumes of praise, right?
Just so many things. I mean, it's a personally attached bank account receiving, or PayPal account receiving donations. That right there is sketchy as fuck, to say the least. No known date, no information. It looks really scammy, to be honest.
I agree. Like, when I found out that it was going to somebody's personal PayPal, like, that's when I was just like, yeah, I don't think, like, a lot of people would want to be involved with this if they knew this information. It's going for somebody's personal gain.
If anything, find a sponsor, like global game jam sites do. They find sponsors, and all it is, it's just that stupid image that they post up when they show off the theme, and it's like, yeah, it's someone's involved in like funding it, but I mean, when it's that little of a degree of co-opting it, then I could care less. I mean, if it's just that one icon showing who the sponsors are, I don't care.
Makes sense.
All right.
Pretty much said what I needed to say.
Go. So you agree, Adil?
Yeah, pretty much.
Andre, do you have anything you'd like to add to this?
I don't really have anything to add to it, no.
Are you looking forward to it, or?
The Rebel Game Jam?
Yes.
The one that, as far as I could tell, won't, exist. But has it been announced? Wait a minute. I might
said the same thing about Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah, a lot of people wish that it
To be perfectly honest, it might actually run, and I'll explain why. Because if the founder is so passionate about, I suppose, getting herself attention, this would be a source of attention for her, and she may very well decide to run it at some point. Maybe. I'm just speculating, I don't know, but I don't look forward to it. I don't have any awareness of it beyond what I've read on news sites about 2 months ago.
What if it did come out and it was on the up and up in terms of you didn't have to pay to get in, there's no corporate sponsor bullshit, would you go, or would you consider going?
Well,
but it was still attached to whoever is running it.
Well, the thing is that if it, I wouldn't go for, partly because considering the history of it, it probably will have hidden bullshit, so to say this, if it doesn't have the overt variety. So if the jam has a history of, illicit, illicit, dubious, I guess, means of receiving his finances. I'm talking about the PayPal account that actually. Let me just rephrase everything. If so, it's really late right now where I live. Basically, if considering the history of this jam, considering the fact that its owner, well, the person setting it up, actually um, had donations for it go into her own PayPal account. That suggests to me that I wouldn't want to take part in it because it's already dubious. Even if it cleaned up its act, apparently it would still be dubious. It would still have this history attached. I wouldn't engage in it.
So it's going purely to her and not to the people who are actually in the game jam?
Well,
It's not clear, and I think that is the first, broken rule is you're not sure where any funding is going.
Yeah, that needs to be asked.
well, here's the thing. I mean, if it's got a bad history, just scrap it and start a new one with a different name. And once you've actually demonstrated your principles, that is pretty straightforward. I mean, it's like the game jam that you mentioned is called just game_jam, the one with Mountain Dew and Doritos and what have you, where everything product placement had to be shoved into the developers' faces. I wouldn't want to take part in the sequel to that. But if the developers actually decided to clean up their act and demonstrated they had cleaned up their act, and then had another game jam, I might participate in it. But again, if they
That's
demonstrated
technically
the character,
what that's not technically, that's kind of what this is, but it still has the kind of dubiousness of what's going on with financials. Why are they going straight to a personal PayPal account?
Yeah, honestly, that just
it's
at
kind of
that
ugly.
point, you just need to ask the person. Be like, listen, that's really fucking dubious. Can you at least clarify exactly where these funds are going?
Yeah, that would be the right question to ask right there.
Yeah, although I think getting any answer is a whole nother
Well,
story.
if they don't answer, then that's suspicious in and of itself.
Yeah. So if we're asking the question, would I go? I would say no, because one, I wouldn't even get an answer for that type of question. I wouldn't want to support it. I wouldn't want to give them one more game in their pool. I wouldn't want to be part of it. I don't think has the support, or I don't think it's supporting the people in a good way.
yeah.
Okay. Did anyone else have anything else to add about game jams before I wrap this up?
They're a good challenge, I think. Like, if you just want to, if you don't take it too seriously and you really just want to challenge yourself as a developer and the game jam is free, then I don't see the harm in it.
If you're aspiring to be a developer, I suggest do it at least once. It's a pretty cool experience.
It's like a rite of passage, kind of.
Yeah.
Yep.
Andre?
Yeah, if you actually want to be in a game jam as part of a team, make sure that you have other team members already with you before actually recruit strangers, because you do not want to end up being the only guy working on the project.
Yeah, have at least one friend with you.
Yeah, bring a friend.
Yeah.
Steven?
Can you repeat one more time?
Do you have anything else you want to add before we wrap this up?
I was going to say something. I mean, it's similar to what Ryu said about it being a good challenge. I think of it more as like a good exercise, kind of like getting good practice on how to do things. I mean, my friends and I, we have a pretty strict schedule for how we do it. We spend the first so many hours on our design, making sure that we have all our elements in order, so that we can make like a comprehensive, like, as like a mini Scrum board to, like, knock off tasks and kind of stay very organized within our team because we generally have a very strict team as well, just so that we can always expect the same like manpower, and then along with it we always get we always get a lot of practice on like quickly preparing our work environment, quickly getting designs into like specifications, getting our art down to specifications so that we're not freaking out 20 hours or 10, 20 hours in when we're like, oh crap, we're actually in 64-bit instead of 32-bit images. And it's just like, it's really good practice for like kind of tightening all the edges.
Yeah. I can't really speak too much on it. I've never been in a game jam. I've never watched one or played a game from one. I'm not a developer, but it sounds like a good exercise to at least try once if you're looking to seriously become a developer, especially if you're seeking to become part of a team. I think working with anybody on any sort of video game project with some sort of sense of urgency can really help you out or teach you something.
Just
or maybe
don't
not.
Get scammed.
At the very least, they'll be promoting Pepsi. But
Pepsi and Mountain Dew.
All right, I'm going to wrap this up. So I'm going to go down and thank you guys individually. And you feel free to plug whatever the hell you want. Adil, thanks for coming on. Where can people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at livefire940. And yeah.
All right, Andre. I know it's very late for you, so thank you especially.
Oh, you're welcome, and thank you as well for having me on. You can find me on Twitter at my handle is Coding Teddy Bear, so just Coding Teddy Bear in a single word.
Okay. Ryu?
Alright, so you can find me at Viking Pipsqueak, one word, Twitter, @, etc.
Alright. And Steven?
I can be found at Arkhound, ARKHOUND, on Twitter, and basically that same thing on just about any other service.
Sounds great. I'm Shill Phish, your host as always, or usually. I'm with Spellsfired.com. It's an upcoming community website. It's not out yet, but hopefully, maybe one day, if you're in the far future and you're listening to this, it'll be out. Or maybe it won't. But regardless, you can follow me and the company, or the website, at Spellsfired, all one word. Or you can email me personally at shillphish, all one word, at gmail.com. I will take any questions or concerns, or if you want to submit an article and have me look over it and edit it and then get it back to you, I also do that too.
So what exactly
does
your site write about?
Whatever people want to write about. I mean, we're going to have it's literally anyone can submit whatever the hell they want as long as it's related to video games.
So if I wanted to write a detailed description comparing Fire Emblem 4 to Fire Emblem Awakening, then I could do that.
I would say I look forward to reading it.
Oh,
You're
okay.
more than welcome to. If you want to write a fucking strategy guide, or if you want to write a tier list for a particular,
I could do that.
You will be put on the front page. If you want to shill your artwork or your what's up?
I was gonna say expect nothing but fighting game shitposts from me nonstop.
Okay, well, shit posters. I got nothing wrong with shit posters as long as it's video game.
Can we have a shitpost debate?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it will have threads similar to 4chan or 8chan, but the premise of it is that you can present more of an article first before people tear it down on the internet.
Come at me,
or
Chris.
if you do YouTube videos or streaming, you're also welcome to host content on our site. Or if you just do something for another website, like I already write for my own blog or whatever, and you just want to mirror your content, that's completely okay. You're allowed to mirror your own content and forward it back to your site, and we are A-okay with that.
Oh, maybe I'll write something for you guys or draw something. I don't know.
There's no maybe about it. You will. No.
Okay, I will.
I'm kidding.
I solemnly swear on the holy text of the Declaration of Independence.
Ooh,
I'm
that's
kidding,
rough.
but no. It was great talking to everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you to all the guests, and look forward to the site.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Take it easy.
Right.
Take care.
See ya.